Hey everyone, this is Ty with Spicy Exotics. Tonight we have our first dry night in quite a while. It's been raining every single day, every night, getting a lot of moisture into the flowers, wetting our pollen. We've had still good success. We've been bagging our flowers, but since tonight's a good night, we have about 10-15 varieties blooming. I figure we take a walk through and give a little video footage. But before we get started, we'd like to show you our vantage point from right here. As I mentioned, it's hot and humid right now. Perfect weather, dragons love that. And right in front of me, to my right, we have a purple haze. To my left, we have a physical graffiti. But let's take a closer look at the other varieties. So over on this side, we have ourselves a neon. It's been blooming pretty much every 2 to 3 nights, providing a decent amount of pollen for some of our other varieties. Most of these are a red flesh, and the red flesh have already bloomed the last couple of nights. But our first red flesh variety here, Voodoo Child. Take a good look at that flower. There's a few different species of Voodoo Child out there. This is a variety collected from Pine Island back in early 2000s. We'll also take a look at some bud activity here. This is Lake Atitlan with Oriana next to it, with a couple of flower buds here and here. On the back side of Natural Mystic, some spent flower buds. Natural Mystic's self-fertile red flesh. Definitely a keeper. Alrighty. Maui Dragon with a little flower bud. We have Thick King starting to go into flower mode, which is a good thing. Some cute little flower buttons here on Nitzel. Over on the other side, we have David Bowie competing with the other white flesh varieties. We have Tasty here that's already flowered. It's a self-sterile variety. Here's a couple of flowers. This happened while we were out of town. This happened while we were in town, but like I said, we had a lot of moisture, so we have our fingers crossed to get some fruit. But we have lots of chances coming up. Over on this side, I know we said we were going to take a look at some flowers. I promise they're coming. This is a very special variety to me. This is Leo's Dragon. It was given to me as a wedding gift, but I have a very crazy story about it and how we actually ended up with the plant. So super excited to have it. This is Mr. Wu. We haven't trimmed it much, and it wants to produce lots of flowers here. So we have lots of little buds. Probably in about 20 days it should be loaded. This is one of my favorites, some spent flower buds. If you don't have yourself a red ES1, I'm sure this is probably renamed as a few other varieties out there, but man, this is a good fruit. We haven't had a single one under a pound. Firm flesh, very, very tasty. The only downfall is it is self-sterile. As promised, we do have some flowers. The one and only Hana. We have some Hawaiian Red Flowers that opened up. You cross over to another greenhouse here. Check out some activity we have. Frankie's Red starting to bud. We have lots of flower buds, maybe a half a dozen or so here. We have yellow tie with some flower buds on the back end, some spent flowers. Over on this side we have the Trisha variety with some nice sized fruit, I have to say. I don't remember them being this big. This little tag right here is we crossed it with some special pollen, so this ought to make a pretty wicked fruit. A sibling, this from these seeds. Right here, like I said, I guess we got about a half a dozen Trisha fruit, so I'll be sharing that with family and friends. Over here we have a Sunta 3. I want to point out the stigma on both of these flowers were closed. We had to give it a little bit of help. Once we put a little pollen on it, it released. Super sticky, no problem whatsoever crossing this particular variety. That stigma is very, very sticky. Next flowers we have simple Undata style looking flowers. This is white sapphire. Some more flower buds off of Bruni here, and some Bruni fruit. We had probably close to 100 flower buds on 2 Bruni plants and a Connie Mayer plant. Due to the weather and lack of pollen, we lost almost all the flowers, so nothing spectacular this year. Let's see. This is Delight. And this is Maria Rosa. As promised, lots of different flowers tonight. A couple of spent Sunta 3s on the back side. This flower as well just did not open, so we just managed to pry it open to get to the stigma, and we just unloaded some pollen on it, so no doubt it will probably fruit. A couple of more Sunta 3 fruits on the back side. Probably our biggest Trisha fruit we have right here, looking really, really good. Passing back, they're not open yet, but we have a few Sunta 4s. Probably going to open tomorrow night. They're a little bit smaller than the first flower buds that we experienced, but I guess I'll take 5 over 1. Alright, we're going to go into our purple flesh greenhouse. It's a little crowded in here. We need to do some pruning. We have a couple of flowers here on Cetaceous. Makes a really yummy fruit, about 20 bricks. Self-sterile, however. Here's the other flower. This is Dark Star. And as stated in Paul Thompson's book, he talked about S9 having split lobes. And as you can see, that's exactly what's going on right here. We'll get a close-up of purple haze. And then over on this side, we have physical graffiti. I don't think we have much activity happening on our last 2 greenhouses, other than maybe a little fruit. Sorry, I had a plant all tied up in my shirt there. Pink Panther is here, putting out a few blooms for us. Not any tonight. This is Michelle. She's got a fruit on the other side. Has a spent flower bud here. This is our White King Hollywood. Has a couple buttons on it on the back side. And there we have one. This is our Axe. It's deciding to produce pretty heavy this year, but just getting started. Sorry, I'm just knocking out spider webs here as I'm trying to show y'all. And then over in this hanging basket, we have Validus with lots of little fruit on it. Did pretty well. We just had a flower open the last couple nights. That's it right here. See if we can pick it up. Yeah, looks like it's gonna set fruit. Pretty exciting. Lots of little tasty fruits. And we have our Columbiana yellow dragon with some fruit. Should be exciting. We always get this guy to bloom in the fall. For a change, it bloomed in the spring. So we'll see if the fruit tastes any different, since we won't have to overwinter it. Kathy Van Orm bloomed right alongside the Sunta 2. Decent amount of flowers on it and fruit. We lost a few again due to the rain. Edgar's Baby here with lots of flower buds, even more on the back side. And next we have Houghton. Have a couple of spent flower buds. It bloomed last night, one of those flowers. This is the back side of our Sunta 4. Have some more flower buds here. So have a little wasted flower bud. This is Sugar Dragon. This is some of those spent flower buds here. What was interesting about this, there's another flower that was right here, and it opened up first, and it was missing its stigma. So it fell off because there was nothing to pollinate. And these are some new varieties. We do have some flower buds on it. This is a variety we collected from Australia. I think the flower buds on the back side. Oh, nope, here we go. I think we got one right here. And we have one here. It's called Columbiana Supreme. And this is Laverne Pink. And we have some flower buds on the back side of it. But lots of good looking cuttings. So this guy will be ready for the website. Actually, both of these guys will be ready for the website in about 60 days with lots of good rooted cuttings and plant material to offer. So be on the lookout. That's one thing for certain. We're going to be launching at least a dozen new varieties this year. Season's looking really good. So far, so good. We had a few hardships, but we managed to overcome. And that about does it. If you have any questions about our nursery, please email us at info at spicyexotics.com, or you can post comments below and we'll be happy to respond. You can book an appointment through our website now, through our calendar with our available dates. And we have some new things coming out in the future where we're going to be able to do nighttime visits and can check out some fruit and pollinate your own dragon fruit flowers. Thanks for watching.